Hello everybody, we are doing Liverpool striker targets today. Which up-and-coming strikers should Liverpool be targeting? We've already done the ready-made, ready to go, ready to come in and score goals strikers right now edition. We did that in the previous video. This one, we're going to be the ones that are going to be able to turn into the next kind of superstar. So let's get into it. First off, we have this quote here from Arne Slot. I've condensed it, as he said, basically the same three things over and over. But what is he looking for in a number 9? And that is he's part of an intense pressing system. But in the end, it's helpful that number 9 of Liverpool scores goals. So obviously he wants someone who's going to work hard, someone who can score goals, and I think someone who can hold up and build up the play a little bit. Okay, so in saying all that, what are we going to look for as a criteria for this number 9 signing? Because, you know, Liverpool won't just sign anyone for no reason. We've gone off these 4 categories. So their output, i.e. the goals and assists they can score per game, how much they will cost in price, the wages that they are on or potentially will be on at Liverpool, and the age of the player. Because as you know, Liverpool tend to sign players young, hoping to turn them into the next superstar. So let's get into it. We've got 3 players today. As I said, we did the ready to go players in Harry Kane, Gyökeres, Isaac and Alvarez on the previous video, and I'll have a summary of them at the end as well. But in terms of the up-and-comers, let's start off with Hugo Ekitike. 57 matches, 23 goals, 12 assists. So 35 goals and assists in total over 2 seasons and a stint in the Europa League this season. 0.61 per game, so goals or assists per game, which is actually pretty good considering he's really young. We'll get into that in a second. One thing to note here that's quite interesting and impressive is his upwards trajectory. So if you look at the previous season, he's got 4 goals and 2 assists from 14 games. This season, he's got 7 assists and 15 goals from 31. So huge upwards trajectory. That's 0.7 goals or assists per game this season just in the league. So that is really impressive. In terms of whether Liverpool would be likely to sign him, let's have a look. I've got Harry Kane still written here, but that's Hugo Ekitike. He's 22, 20, and 23 this coming season. His wage is on £50,000 approximately, and the price is somewhere around 60 million euro. So in pounds, that's less. I'm not going to do the math, but 60 million euro. And 0.61 goals and assists per game. So in terms of all these are huge ticks. Obviously, age is great. He's really young and he looks like he's fantastic. The wage is very cheap and the price is more than affordable for Liverpool. The question mark is just whether or not this is going to be enough. And for an up-and-coming player, I think it is for sure. But let's move on to the next one. Benjamin Sesko. These are his stats for the past 2 seasons. Very consistent. He's got 13 goals and 14 goals in the previous 2 seasons. 5 assists and 2 assists, both in 31 games each. And in the Champions League, he's got 2 in 8 and 4 in 8. So overall, 78 games played, 33 goals, 7 assists. So 40 goals and assists in total, or 0.51 goals and assists per game. So obviously statistically not as impressive per game as Ekitike. One thing you could say, he is very consistent. He does have that over him, but there is no real upward trajectory there. And that's not a good or a bad thing. This may be an actual benefit that he is consistent, that he does the numbers regularly. But with Ekitike, as you can see, he does have that upwards trajectory. So the idea you're thinking is he's actually getting better somewhat rapidly. Whether or not that's the case, I can't tell you. I don't watch enough of these guys. I only watch the highlights of them, and they both look great. I mean, when you see highlights, everyone looks great, though. I look great in highlights. In terms of the criteria, age 21, 22, so slightly younger than Ekitike. Wage, he's on £90,000 per week, apparently. So this is actually a question mark. I've got a tick here, but this is a question mark because he's very young and he's already on quite a high wage. And as you know, Liverpool like to try and get players on smaller wages especially for the non-star players. I would say for the non-starters, the non-Salahs, Van Dijks. You have looks at like Kanate and Diaz, and the wages they're on are actually quite low. So starting at £90,000, and you'd expect that to bump up a bit because of the move. I don't know if that's something that they would look at as, we'll look at a different option. When we're not that interested at that price. There's better market opportunities out there, as they would say. £50 million will get it done, which again I think is completely reasonable. Finally, the output. I can't make a decision about that really because I don't know what they're looking for in terms of this age and output. But I mean, for this age, it seems pretty good as well. Moving on to the final player, Liam Delap. This is going to be interesting from an output perspective. He doesn't have the real history that the other two do. I mean, he does, but one season's in the championship. This season, he's got 12 goals and 2 assists in 34 games in the Premier League for Ipswich Town. And that is so hard to quantify or measure because it's Ipswich Town. They don't create much. They don't score much. But whenever they do, he seems to be quite heavily involved in terms of actually scoring goals. So overall, 24 goals and assists in 65 matches, which is 0.36 goals or assists per game. By far the lowest of anyone on the list entirely. He is 22, so he's roughly the same age as the other two players on the list. His wages are 20,000, which is nothing, and the price is around £30 million, which again is nothing. So he's definitely a player that you'd be buying for the future. He wouldn't come in, he wouldn't start. He'd be someone you'd be looking to develop. Whereas the other two probably would want to be starting. So I don't know if he's worth it to sign and hopefully develop into a player over the next couple of years. But again, I haven't seen enough of him. So moving on to, let's look at all the players on the list here, and I will remove myself right now. So these are the overall stats from all the players. So we've got per game, this is the output. Gyökeres is the best with 1.6 goals or assists, 1.26 goals or assists per game. Harry Kane's 1.16. Isak is 0.86. Ekitike is actually higher by the smallest fraction than Alvarez. Then down to Sesko at 0.51 and Delap. In terms of cost, Gyökeres is fine. We looked at the numbers in the previous video. Kane has a 65 million release clause, so that's not unrealistic, even though it activates in January 2026. So that may be somewhat problematic. Isak obviously been touted anywhere from 120 to 150. Ekitike, we looked at it before. That's fine. Alvarez, unsure, anywhere from 80 to 100 plus. But in terms of wages, Kane would be a big issue at 400k. Isak, I put a question mark because we just don't know what he's going to want. He's on, from the top of my head, 120 at the moment, and you'll be looking and expecting that to increase significantly. And I put another question mark here for Sesko because, as I said, 90 for this age seems quite high. And then all the other players fit into the age range quite comfortably. Some are in their peak: Gyökeres, Isak, Alvarez. The rest are up and coming. The only one that doesn't fit the bill is Kane, who is too old. So they're the numbers. I don't know what you guys think. If that actually helps anyone, does that help anyone make a decision as to what they'd want to see in terms of a striker? It's really hard to look past Gyökeres, those stats, those numbers, the cost, the wages, the age. Whether or not he can translate that from Portugal to the Premier League is a huge different story, and one that we won't know until someone actually tries it. But yeah, next best is probably Ekitike. So honestly, I think we'll probably either go for Ekitike or Alvarez. That seems to be the logical choice. I actually think we probably need 2 strikers. I don't think Nunes or Jota really cut it anymore. Jota with the injuries, he's a bit inconsistent as well, and Nunes obviously doesn't have the quality. So yeah, I mean, I'd love to see us make a move on two of these players, but that seems completely unrealistic knowing Liverpool's transfer policy in the past. So yeah, a Gyökeres and a Ekitike, that would be something absolutely special, but I don't think we'll see that. So yeah, hope you liked the video. Please hit like and subscribe on your way out, and I hope you have a good day. See you later.